You probably know one or both of us if you're watching this video. So what I'm going to do is we're going to spend some time explaining kind of why we've decided to work together through Family Investment Center. For myself, I started Family Investment Center back in 1998, and since then we've been providing high-quality, fee-only investment management and financial planning services. The reason why we've decided to work with Richard is because it will allow us to get bigger and better, and we're especially interested in getting better. Richard?
Well, thank you, Dan, and I'm very excited to become part of this team. My background goes back about 25 years to the early 1990s when I first started a small solo financial planning practice. And then I joined three other gentlemen in the late 1990s in forming an independent trust company and transitioned my practice to fee only at that point. And then in 2000, joined GTrust, which was based out of Topeka, Kansas, and spent the next 14 years there building a team of financial planning professionals. Then we were acquired by a larger regional bank in 2014. I subsequently left that in 2016 and am now ready to go back out on my own, except it made a whole lot more sense to, rather than doing it on my own, to partner with Dan and his team, because we really bring a very complementary skill set. Dan's team here in St. Joseph, Missouri has been in the business for, it'll be 20 years next year, providing fee-only investment management and a very strong back office and fiduciary management culture. And we bring to them the systematic financial planning process that we've been providing for the last 20 years. And so the synergy between those two should make the whole much greater than the sum of the parts.
Richard and I have known each other for 20 years. We've watched each other as we've both kind of grown and developed. We've always kind of admired each other, and this is an opportunity for us to work together. Now, Richard directly is going to be opening an office in the Kansas City area down in Lenexa, but it's our goal and intent that we have one company with two locations. So you should be able to access the financial planning process in St. Joseph or Lenexa, and you should also be able to access our investment management from either one of the locations.
This is a very similar structure to what we used to have at GTrust, where we had the financial planning was mostly housed out of Overland Park, Kansas at that time, but we had an investment team made up of professionals from across the company, and those decisions were made at that team level and then implemented at the individual offices, and we plan to do that exact same thing here at Family Investment Center.
Yeah, it's a process that's worked for our clients really well over the years, and we just figured that this is a way to expand those services to a larger group of people. And it also allows us, we've always provided what we call situational financial planning, which is somebody comes in, they have a particular circumstance or situation that requires review and some help, and we put that together and help them do that. Your process that you've created is more systematic. It involves, insurance, it involves estate planning, it involves investment management and investment planning and taxes. This is a more comprehensive and robust package than what we've had in the past. So for our clients that want those services, we'll be able to use that more systemic approach if that's what suits them. And I think that is something that you bring to the table that is a real benefit to our existing clients.
One of the things that it might be beneficial for the folks listening to this to understand, Dan, is who we typically work with.
Sure.
Because our clients are all what I would consider middle and upper middle class, but that's more about mindset than it is about net worth. And what I mean by that is we have clients that are worth $8 to $10 million, but if you ask them, they would tell you, we're middle class.
Of course.
Because that's how they see themselves. They don't view themselves as being wealthy.
Right.
And so to me, middle class, upper middle class is a mindset.
Yeah, and we see the same thing here. We have clients that have, $8 or $10 million of investing, they don't consider themselves wealthy either, and I would not consider them, wealthy to the extreme that we sometimes see, in America. But they've done very well, and they're suited to have somebody help them that's a professional in the way they handle things.
Because we do financial planning for a fee, we basically have two revenue streams. If we manage assets directly for a client, that's an asset management fee. And if we do financial planning, which as you mentioned includes tax preparation work, tax planning, estate planning, the whole gamut of, I always tell people basically, if it has to do with money, it's probably our job. But we have an ability to work with young professionals that many investment management firms don't, because you're getting paid for managing the money. Our job is, through the financial planning that we do, to help those younger affluent clients work toward obtaining wealth. I always like to say, to make money stick is what it amounts to.
I think there are going to be markets that are going to open up to us, both in St. Joseph and in Kansas City and in the region, that neither one of us would be able to tap as kind of a sole practitioner.
Right.
But with this team and with the credentials and with the experience we've gotten, I just think there's going to be some opportunities come our way that are frankly both fun and exciting.
I have a client that's retired out in Colorado now and living in the mountains, living their dream.
Right.
But I can remember when he came to me a number of years ago and was ready to do it then. And I had to tell him, you know what, it's not ever, but it's not now. And he was very disappointed to hear that at that particular point in time. Right. But when a couple years later the opportunity came up, I was able to say, now it works. And that was many years ago, and they're still successfully retired out to Colorado today and living in the mountains and living the life they want to live. And that's a huge part of the value that we provide.
And that's really, honestly, every client or every client family that we encounter has slightly different goals. I mean, that's the fun part of our business, is when they say, hey, I just had my first grandchild and I want to set aside money so that they can go to college. And then you get the graduation picture from college 20 years later. That's what it's all about, and that's what makes it fun.
I agree.